Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, you thought I wasn't coming on today? You thought I wasn't coming on today? It's happening. It's Thursday. I only take a break. I take a break very seldomly just to make sure that I'm able to get my duckies in a row and get my life right. I know some of y'all are back at it this morning already, and I just try to make sure that we take the time to come in this space and share it in some way, some shape, somehow. So let me just get at it this morning. I got something. I got something to tell you. I got something to ask you. I got something we need to talk about, doers. This is the morning dew for certified doers just like you. I'm Jackie Glass, mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 9th, 3rd District. Let's get at it. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, We Care. Good morning, y'all. So I want to ask y'all a question. And this is a very, very serious question as I roll into the new year and I think about what's ahead of me and then what my life might look like in the next 2 years. So let me ask you something. When you think of a leader in your field, how about let's talk about government. When you think about a leader in government, what actually comes to mind? First word. Don't think about it. When you think about a leader in government, what actually comes to mind? Drop it in the chat. Don't even think about it. That first word, just throw it in there. Good morning, Mr. Little. It's good to see you this morning. Don't think about it. Just drop it in the chat. What actually comes to mind? And I want to see what you're thinking. It might be like a politician in a suit giving speeches, making promises. But courage, Kristen, courage. Glorify the creative spirit and amplify the positive. Yes. But it might be those things. It may be courage, as Kristen said, but there's this thing, right, that I've been thinking about. The best leaders aren't just in fancy offices. And I'm looking at some of y'all today, Kristen Leader, Mr. Yancey, so unique. I mean, like David comes on here as a leader. They are not the best leaders, y'all, are not in fancy offices. They are in our neighborhoods. And I've been thinking about this a lot as like empathy, Brian Daniel. I love it. I love it. Empathy. That's what we want. That's why I feel like today this was on my heart. I was debating, like, should I get up? Ain't nobody gonna be up after Christmas, but that's not the point. The point is I said I would be here unless there was a headache or there was something where I just needed a break. If I don't show up, there's a good reason. But the best leaders are in our neighborhoods, at your schools, on your block, and even in your family. They're everyday people like you. They are. And I can say that from experience, right? I'm not saying this to gas nobody up, but from experience, some of the best leaders I meet right here on my block. And they're everyday people. Again, you, me. I still feel like an everyday person. Sometimes in this work, I feel like a fish out of water. Sometimes I feel like I don't belong, even though I'm meeting really amazing people. That don't fit the bill, that fit the bill of courage, empathy, and commitment. I meet those people. There are real people doing that. But I want us, right, to be starting to think about why we need everyday people to run for office, why we need everyday people to join commissions, why we need everyday people to serve on boards. I'm saying this because there's going to be a great need 2025, 2026. If you all don't know, I want to put this in your heads because we're still in 2024, unless there's ain't no date time like the present, is that in 2025, the entire House of Delegates will be on the ballot. The governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, all that will be on the ballot. 2025 is going to go like that, right? Like it's going to pass us by. And then we're going to turn around and in our cities, we're going to have school board elections. We're going to have city council elections. Like that's like 10 people, 10 leadership positions are going to flip within while the House of Delegates, we're only talking about 3 specifically in the city of Norfolk. That's 3 people plus but I'm talking about like in our backyard, there'll be 5 positions, 5, right? And those positions are supported by everyday people that sit on commissions and boards. And give me a thumbs up if you've ever served on a board or commission, because I could think of a couple right now. I can think of a couple right now just for some of you, like Kristen. I think you need to get on the Military Economic Development Council for the city of Norfolk. So Unique, I think there needs to be advocacy for a council on creative economy development and small business development. There's got, like, come on, like, we need y'all. I'm saying that from a place of, I'm looking for y'all, but we're here. And so that's what I'm talking about, not just running for office. Join commissions, serve on boards. There's a tree board, y'all, a goddamn tree board. And it's simple. You know what's going on where you live. And that's why you are so important. You are so important to me, and I think to our community, because you know what's going on where you live. The thing that I've learned about running for office is that as you, like, I started off just on my block taking care of the kids. Then I became the civic league president, and then now the delegate. And as my chief of staff say, like, you do lose clarity. I lose sight sometimes. Sitting here, I lose sight. And that doesn't mean I'm above you. That means that the issues that I'm dealing with have become not even bigger, but just in a different lens, that I'm losing clarity about what's happening in the neighborhood. I'm losing clarity about what's happening in the city. And I need you, right? We need you. Kristen Weir says, I don't think a lot of people, Kristen, this is for everybody. I can't make the post show on the thing. Good morning, Anna. Kristen.Wheeler 77 says, I don't think a lot of people know how to engage in community. It feels like it's getting more and more lost. We just don't know each other or trust each other. And we just, or don't know how to engage. Tell me if you receive or you like feel that sentiment. Definitely give me a thumbs up or a smiley face, something that says that you agree with that it's just understanding how to get engaged. Let me know, because I definitely want to know if that's you feel like that's the thing for you, is just like, all right, like, I don't necessarily trust nobody, and I receive that. Like, I'm in on it. But that's why I think this was on my heart this morning, is to talk about the how. The reason why I think that you all are needed in space and place is because you know what's working, you know what's broken, and that's how I stay in the know. You know what needs to be changed. Decisions that affect your schools, right? You're interfacing with these. With the parks, with your kids' school. You know what's working. Decisions that affect the schools, the parks, the jobs, communities get made by people that show up. And I'm going to say this, like, these decisions, I'm going to say it out loud again. And then I'm going to tell you what's happening in my community and how I just ran into somebody the other day. And I was like, God dang, let me take the time to explain this. So decisions are made by those who show up. And sometimes that's not physically showing up. Sometimes you got to write a letter. Sometimes you got to, pass the note. I went to, so my daughter asked me if she can go to a classmate's play the other night. I think it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night. It was at this church off Military Highway. And I'm like, fine, we're going to go and see her friend in this church play. And it was what is it? Jingle Jangle. Right, in the Jingle Jangle play. And I run into this woman and we start talking, realize she lives right up the street from me, right on this block where 2 months ago we were at a community meeting talking about how this whole block, and if y'all in Norfolk, it's the Lafayette corridor, that they're working on turning that into like this business corridor, like commerce corridor. And they've been working on it from Tidewater all the way to Robin Hood Road. They had the community in there, and we're talking about what we want to see, what we don't want to see, what we like, what we don't like. The room is not full. And I also recognize that, not everybody can show up, but I'm telling her that. She's like, yeah, something needs to happen. And she has some amazing ideas. And I'm like, dang, like, I wish she was in the room. So, and that's happening for changes that we're not going to see for another 5 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's right now. And so if I could encourage anything about where to start, it is really hard, but I'm going to say this. I had to do it, Civic League. I'm telling you, the Civic League for me was very tough at first because it was a lot of older folks. And it was like there was no trust for the things that I said. There were very few that bought in. It was difficult. So it took a year or two of showing up before I got, some buy-in from people that I'm not here to just turn the neighborhood. I'm a mom of two, just living in this neighborhood that want to see the neighborhood for my kids. And it took some time because the elders was not having it. So it's hard. Kristen Williams says, how can we get the word out to give people a chance to enter the chat, enter the room? That's the crux, right? How do you consume information and who do you share it with? Because I think we have 5 generations that we're trying to bring into the fold, and that is tough. Whether it's putting in the paper, getting it on TV, putting it on social, getting it to people. There's just so many ways that people are consuming information that, to your point, that word of mouth piece, we've lost it just a little bit because people will assume that you know things. And that's why I say, y'all assume I know nothing, because just because somebody said it out there, you saw it on TV or you saw it on social, don't mean I did. So I think we just have to start building our little networks, like say hello. We need to have a neighbor day where we just go, we pick a day and we say hello to at least our neighbors' houses that directly, because I'm telling you how that makes a difference. Word of mouth is no joke. It's no jokes. And yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. So again, decisions are made by people who show up. I want to say that again. And I don't think that just applies to this thing like this. That applies to like your family, right? Whoever shows up, they make a decision. Brian Daniel said more people need to attend Civic League. Yeah, it's hard. So what I also will say to that, Brian Daniel, is that Civic Leagues need to be more accessible too. I've got some amazing neighbors that aren't able to come to Civic League at 7:00 on a Thursday night because of, the way life is set up. So Civic Leagues needs some modernization, and that's only going to happen with willing participants in the room too. So like I started getting us to be able to stream our Civic Leagues live on Facebook at one point, which was a beautiful thing. I'm like, oh my God, we can stream them on Facebook. Thank goodness. That's at least one outlet where people can engage. So we've got to modernize, because I know when everyday people don't show up, someone else will. And they may not know or care about things as much as us. And that's real. That makes my heart and then, it makes my heart go, dang, I want to say something. Am I supposed to be the one to say? I'm going to say it anyway, but I don't want this person to feel like I'm knocking, I have to be mindful of my power, my influence in a room too now, right? Of what I say. And so let's talk about the barriers, right? The stuff that makes it hard to set up money. Right? Money is difficult because some of us got to work, especially when we talk about running for office. It can feel expensive. Campaigns cost money. And guess what? You don't got to be rich to make a difference. Exhibit A. Exhibit A, you do not have to be rich to make a difference. So money is a barrier. I get that. You got to work. You got stuff you got to do. Yeah. That's a thing that stops a lot of people I know from stepping up, whether it's for office or otherwise. They're like, look, I'm tired, or I'm trying to get to the chicken, right? Time. You might think I am too busy. But what's busier than being a parent, a student, or working 2 jobs? If you can juggle all of that, my G, you can lead. If you could juggle all of that, and some of y'all know y'all a bit much. So if you can juggle all that, you can lead. And the last thing that I think, money, time, and then doubt. A lot of people feel like I don't have what it takes. I'm not connected up. Listen to me. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to care. I'm going to say it again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to care. I am telling you this. The only reason why I'm in the position that I'm in right now is because I got pissed off a couple times about my kids, about my blog, about hot about the substandard stuff that was happening in the city. I got upset, and I am not perfect, y'all. I got bills. I got debt. Okay, my husband said I'm mean as hell. so, so look, not perfect. I'm telling you. not perfect at all. At all. So I'm looking. Uh Brian said true. Oh, what activated me? So on Instagram, Kristen Wheeler said, what activated you? So initially, I'll say what activated me was my son. I'll talk about um, when I first got here, Norfolk was the first town that I became an adult. Like I got to live as an adult. I was not active duty, so I had to care about where where I was. And my husband decided to retire here. Yeah, I say he decided because I was like, this ain't it. So he decided to retire here. We ended up buying a house, and I told myself that once I bought a place, that I needed to figure out. I would dig in. I would actually dig in. Yep. Um, and so I decided to dig in. I did this thing called 30 cups of coffee in 90 days. I made a list of people just on the government list and was like, 30 cups of coffee, tea, or Slurpee. I'm going to get to know these people to find out how I can add value because I had no idea. What ended up happening was Norfolk Public Schools. There was a couple things that happened with my son. I was upset, substandard, found out about school boards because I didn't know not a whole bunch about that. Had never attended one or anything. Went to the school board, started advocating for my son, did not get results, felt like I had good policy know-how because I had just done these things called bottom-up reviews for policy in the Navy. They were having their first elected school board, and my son's mental health was suffering. I mean, suffering, meaning there were two things that happened that I should have known about in school, and there was no process. And I was like, how is this possible? If my son does something to himself in school, I should know these things. And I ran for office to help with policy. And I realized how nasty people could be. Like I didn't know anybody, but I realized how nasty people could be. The second time I ran was because the city was, I feel like they were purposefully ensuring that there was ignorance about an election and about ARPA money and about those things. So I ran to talk shit. I say it out loud. That's exactly why I ran. I was like, I'm just going to air it all out. That activated me. I was upset that they were making sure that folks didn't know about an election. And weren't sharing information and were, doing gentleman agreements things. And I was like, we don't operate gentleman agreements. I'm not a gentleman, so I can't make that agreement. So yeah, those things, anger activated me. Unfortunately, that was the thing that activated me. So that's why I'm here, right? I tried not to do the delegate thing, but here we go. James Glass says, great live this morning. I'm getting excited about the yes. So David said, he's getting excited about the General Assembly 2025 session, which is in just a hiccup, y'all. It's a hiccup. It's about to go down, and so I'm excited about that. And pretty soon you'll be hearing from me on legislative. Actually, I need to post this Sunday, January 5th at Maker's Craft Brewing from 1 to 3. I will be having sort of a legislative, hey, y'all, what's up? I'll put that out today. Just usually we do that back in October, life be life. And so we're trying to get it together. Oh, you're welcome. I do not mind sharing at all. Anger activated me. And I want you all, because I see some amazingly, wickedly smart people here. You may be thinking that I'm not ready to run for office. I'm not ready to join a commission. I'm not ready to. Leadership doesn't have to start big. It does not have to start big. I'm telling you, mine started also with just making a homework house. I saw kids asking for help on the bus stop. That's how I started too. These kids were on the bus stop and they would come and they would be sitting on the bus stop doing their homework. And I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And the kids were like, well, we thought we were going to get help from a mom. Mom had to work last night. So I asked their parents if they can come to my house after school to do their homework. And so the twins and a couple of the kids, it wound up being like 13 kids coming to my house after school just to do homework, right? And the community showed up. They started like buying pizza, and I had some older kids come in and read to the kids. I had a woman come sing opera. Then it became about making experiences in our house for the little citizens in the neighborhood. So like that is really how it started. I was like, yo, I don't want someone to judge me as a parent because I couldn't help my kid get, because I know what it's like of like when work, you just try to put a roof over their head, you come in, you spent. So that's the way it started. You can start with that idea that's been on your mind for a while. Something's been on your mind for a while. You want to clean your park. You want to organize. You can organize a cleanup. You wish there were more programs for teams. Start brainstorming with your people. You care about mental health. Start speaking about it. Because here's the deal. No change ever happens if we sit and wait for someone else to do it. Join someone else's thing. You know what I'm saying? Join. I'm looking at 757 We Care. They're always looking for mentors, right? Like do that thing. The world needs what you have to offer. I'm telling you, the world needs, not even the world, your world, just the world that you're sitting in needs what you have to offer. So whether it's joining the school board, leading that group project, or it's just showing up for your community, your voice, your actions matter. I am telling you, because I started small and was so happy to be small with the homework house. It was a good time. And I'm going to say this out loud. The more kids there are, the less work there is. I'm saying it. You create some rules, they self-regulate. Okay. I was just like the house mother. That's it. Let me go to the comments here. I hope to meet you. Okay, Daniel. Okay, sorry, I said Daniel. That's your last name. Brian, I hope to meet you at clean. He said at Clean Water Lobby Day on the 14th. Yes. Hey, if you need to, look, I'll tell you how much anxiety I have about water. We can talk about water all day. It's the one thing that stresses me out. I have to remind my kids water ain't free and it ain't forever. So I worry. So if you need to get a lobby day time, I don't know if you have to come to my office and see me, but hopefully I see you in passing. I'm not in committee. Okay. Hopefully I see you. Going over here, Kristen said, I just read an article about Phil H. in my district supporting a bill to help folks get out from under the thumb of debt. Glad to see his name finally in the news. Yeah, he's getting some stuff done. It can be a struggle, but you said it. What? That's awesome. Study hall. Yes, study hall. We called it the homework house. That's when my house became in the community, the straight up homework house. And it was a thing. A lot of those kids have since gone on to college, are in high school now. It's beautiful to see what they've done. It's beautiful to see the little citizens that they are today. And then we're fostering that same. I have the privilege of having my home be on a corner with a bus stop. So I have access to little citizens all time from 6:30 in the morning until 8:30 or 9:30, 9 o'clock, 6:30 to 9 o'clock. So I've got access, right? And I feel like that is a privilege to have them right there in the community. It's like they come into. So if you're a bus stop corner, just go out and say, hey, all you got to do is say good morning. If you're home, right? Or when they come home from school, just speak. Okay. So, we starting today. Is that what we said? Is that what I heard you say? You said, oh, did I hear you say that? He said, oh, Jackie, I'm a certified doer. I'm starting today. Today, because I'm not going to wait till the first of the year, because I don't know why that's a thing, but today is a thing that you're going to start right now. That idea that you've been holding on to, you're going to take one small step, one small action, because if we all step up, even if it's just a teeny weeny bit, we can create the kind of communities that I think we both want to live in together. I know we can do this. I know it. Just saying. I know it because I know it. I know it because I know it. Know it. I know. That's it. That's what I got. That's my TED Talk. I'm hoping for the best for y'all. For us in the coming years. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like I heard the whisper say that. The whisper said, I'm starting today. Yes, I'm so grateful for you all. Happy to serve. I really mean that. January 5th at 1 o'clock, Makers Brewery. I'm hoping to see y'all there. I was trying to get my quote pulled up. I had a little quote for y'all. I had a little quote that I was trying to get up, but no, thank you for coming on. Thank me for coming on. You're very welcome. I'm committed to this. I'm gonna be real with you all. I've heard so many rumors about what I am or am not doing. I'm here, right? Presence is important to me. I'm hoping that I'll get the opportunity to continue to do. I see a couple. I'm about to go into. Let's see. I got some comments. I'm pausing for a second. Sorry, a little. Let's see what we got. Kristen Weir said, is there a calendar post about the makerspace that can be shared? Not yet. I just made that decision last week. Like I said, this is something I usually do. I don't know why I still have my glasses. I usually do in October because I have my legislative agenda together. But this year, things were kind of a little bit behind the ball. And not for me, but just getting things back from being able to work with partners. I think everybody is dealing with it. So I just delayed and wish I hadn't, but I did. So it's okay. We work with what we got. David James Glass says, looking at the 10% tax on marijuana accessory taken off. I'm looking to get the 10% tax on marijuana accessories taken off of the cannabis requirement bill. That's one of my causes this year. Yeah, I'm wondering, David, I'm still kind of in the air. I don't know who is carrying the cannabis bill this year. No idea. So he was asking about, there's a 10% tax, right, on any marijuana accessories, and he's trying to get that taken out of the bill. I do not know, honestly, who's carrying that bill. Christian, will you say it one more time so I can get it on the calendar? Absolutely. Sunday, January 5th from 1 to 3 at the Makers Craft Brewery. David says that tax would make it very difficult to compete with online out-of-state retailers. I agree. Rouse and Krizik, I hope so, but there was some interesting talks. So I'm hoping. He said, I asked him who's carrying that bill. He said Rouse and Krizik. We'll see. There was some things going on. I don't know, but we'll see once we get in session. I think it's going to be really, and I hate to use the word interesting, but it is, because I just don't necessarily know what to expect. For y'all information, because we're up for election next year, people get odd. People behave differently. Like, it's just the way sometimes people are jockeying for certain things. People get nicer, people get meaner. You just know, I just try to show up as self and deal with what we deal with. And, maybe they have space, maybe they don't, because there were some talks. I had some folks asking me to carry a marijuana bill. David, I'll tell you this, is that I've got a lot of learning and growing as it pertains to understanding what is or is not. I know what is or is not happening with the marijuana industry in the Commonwealth, but the steps that need to be taken, I have some learning to do. So if you so choose, please do not hesitate to be one of our doers on the ground for that issue, just to keep us posted if you hear anything about what's happening. And if I hear anything about what's happening about creating a legal market as it pertains to marijuana, I will definitely make sure that I share. But I don't know what we'll be able to get done with the mismatch between the executive branch and the legislative branch because I don't think the current governor is going to do anything with the legal market. I just don't. I think he will pretend, not to be being funny, because we had this meeting with him last session or maybe 2 sessions ago where he was asked about if he was open to at least working on something with making a legal market, and he kind of tap danced and alluded to that he was open to it, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later was like, it ain't never gonna happen. So I just choose to say, with the current administration, I don't see that happening, but I do see us still pushing and trying to make it. But it's also the thing about it is I think we're the only state that has a 1-term governor. So maybe he'll go out with a bang, but with the way I think he has political aspirations up, this is just my hypothesis, is that whatever's happening at the federal level, you can expect him to kind of mime that in some way. Like, I feel like it's the light version. Yeah. Yeah. But now is the time to start working on those things. Like I said, that's important for everybody here. Remember when we talked about doing our one thing? Good morning, We Care 757. That it's important that we talk about that thing, because next year we have the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general on the ballot, which means you got to have a governor that's willing to sign a legalization bill, a lieutenant governor that's willing to break a tie break if something, because the Senate's not on the ballot, but they're a pretty tight vote. I think it's 21-19. So a super tight vote there. And then you've got to have an attorney general that is going to make sure that the laws of our land are gelling up, like that are not going to be like prosecute them all sort of deal. Okay. So let me read the comments and then I'm going to let y'all go. David James Glass says they won't put they want to put the same they want to put in the same bill. It won't get signed by the governor, but adding that tax for pipes will grow supplies makes no sense, and it'll be bad in an election year. Yeah, and Krizik has to be more concerned. Actually, both of them do, because Rouse is on the ballot, Krizik is on the ballot. So you're right. People have to be cognizant of what they're doing. Because you all hopefully will be able to see that and make determinations based off of that and advocate. It's a perfect year to advocate. Kristen Wheeler 77 says, would be interesting to me to hear the public debate about cannabis. That might be interesting. We tried to get an organization to come down and do some marijuana sort of education this last October. I think it was October. That fell through. Like I personally wanted to get educated on things. So yeah, I didn't get it, but we'll get there. I think we'll get there for sure. Yep. So David says, I agree. Zero chance it will get signed. I'm kind of getting an early start on Spanberger's 26 GA. Yeah. Yep. Because in 26, then we just talk about this, y'all. 26. The next year is going to make a difference. 26 is going to be interesting. So I'm going to recap, y'all, and I'm going to make sure I don't have no comments on Facebook. Got it. What did I say, y'all? I said, I need y'all to do the thing. I know that there are barriers to stepping up money, time, and doubt that you're the person, but you know more than many about your backyard. And today, you said you won't start today, because that's what I heard. I heard you say that today, right now, that thing you've been holding on to, we said we're going to take a small step, because we all step up when we all do it. Remember, we are creating the kind of places that we want to live in. I'm going to do my best. I know that you are. And remember this quote, change doesn't come from people who have it all figured out. Excuse me. Let me tell you, change does not come from people who have it all figured out. It comes from those brave enough to start even when they don't. Even when they don't. Okay? All right? We're imperfect. Let's get it. And we care. I mentioned y'all earlier. I just wanted to say that I wanted y'all to know, people to know that the thing about it is they're always looking for mentors. They are always looking for mentors. Align yourself with your people. Kristen brought up a great point, and I'm still talking. I know it. Kristen brought up a great point, is that we are losing our connectedness and that people aren't trusting people. And that's why finding these orgs that are doing the damn thing or trying to build the thing, it's a great place to be a part of. So I'm asking you that if you can DM me like, hey, Delegate Glass, I'm into this. Do you know any organizations that are doing this? I will do my part. To try to get you, or email the office, deljglass@house.virginia.gov. Again, that's Del, like delegate, J for Jackie, Glass, like my last name, at House, because I'm in the House of Delegates, .Virginia spelled out, .gov, because we're part of that government. All right. Until next time, I think I will see y'all hopefully on January 5th from 1 to 3 at Maker's Craft Brewing. It's my send-off. I'm also going to talk a little bit about my legislative agenda. I'm still trying to fundraise. So if you haven't had the chance to give, I can't take any contributions after the 7th because we're not allowed to take money while we're in session, but I'm trying to at least raise the money to pay the rest of my dues because that's a thing. Love it, hate it. Pay my dues and make sure that I have staff through session. Make sure I have staff through session. If you, hold on, you can also mail to our P.O. box. Our P.O. box is 99. Actually, all of this is on delegatejackieglass.com. I'm over here like talking. All of this on delegatejackieglass.com. Delegatejackieglass.com. I have to tell you offline, Kristen Wheeler, because I don't know if that's like public information. I have to tell you what that is. It's a significant amount of money. Yeah, it's a thing. All right. I was going to say something. Oh, also, I'm looking for a doer that can revamp websites. So I'm hoping to try to get my website revamped while I'm in session. If you all know somebody that can do that and that is not super expensive, I want to pay people what they're worth. I swear I do. I just I'm in a job that don't make a whole lot. But yeah, I'm looking for somebody to revamp the website. Good morning, Rock the Diva. Hey, good morning. All right, so until next time, I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 93rd District. Honored to serve. I'll catch you on the flip side because doers get more done. Don't sue me, Home Depot. Bye, y'all.